Interesting.
Where
interesting.
Are we all You know what, Eliza? You know what's interesting? This podcast.
Ask me. Ask Eliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions.
You know what is not interesting? Most things that people say are interesting. And I'm thinking of one specific girl who did nothing wrong except say interesting on that show, Love is Blind, where everybody's blind. On that show, I think they cast it in like Minneapolis or something, and that season. And if you guys ever watched that show, which I haven't in a while, it was this girl, perfectly lovely girl who, do you watch the show, Emily?
No, the most I knew about it was when you were like the Georgia season, when you were, it might have been during COVID, and you were like live posting about it. And
those are still saved in like those highlight reels at the top in circles on my Instagram page in case you're really bored.
A highlight reel. A highlight reel is somehow forever.
It is so hard to make fun of people without bringing up how they look. And I do a great job.
It really is.
It really is. But this girl was dating this guy, and he had this like this sister he was overly attached to, and he brought her up all the time. And we're like, dude, just fuck your sister and like live on a farm somewhere. And he kept bringing her up, and he wasn't into this girl, even though they had gone like on the beach trip or whatever that you're supposed to do where you like get close. They're like fake honeymoon. And he like couldn't get over the fact that this girl had gone on a date with a guy that he knew like before she met him or something so bizarre and something so immature. And she was so patient because she really liked him. And he's like, I just can't get past it. And she kept being like, interesting. And he's like, and so when I talked to my sister and everything said, she'd be like, interesting, like trying to process it, but like interesting instead of like a rainbow wheel of death. Like that was her way of being like, I don't want to call you a fucking loser and I still want to seem likable. Interesting.
It feels like such a brush off.
Maybe it's because I only hear women say it because like that's this word we have to say to like show that we're engaged and that we're open to the dumb thing that you're saying. Interesting. I don't want to shut that down.
That jet fuel can't melt steel beams? Interesting.
Interesting that you do think it can. Interesting, Emily, that you're saying right now that you think George Bush committed 9/11. Interesting.
I couldn't remember which way it went.
That is what you're saying. That's interesting that you think it was an inside job. Interesting. And not.
I think it was George Bush himself. Not even. I think he was flying the plane and then he parachuted out.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I also want to know, by the way, you guys, happy July 1st.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
It's such a dumb. It's the first day of July. I want to say, before I get into the thing I wanted to say, thank you so much to our nurses, our truckers, our haulers, our drivers, our grad students, our people who choose to listen to this. It's interesting that you chose this podcast because we have so many new Patreon followers, and now I feel this intense pressure to show you more underwear.
Well, I know that was really, they all signed up for the underwear, but
Lord,
a lot of people signed up for the free tier too. But one of the comments we got that did make me laugh is Devin commented on our Patreon and said, I vividly remember listening to episode 1 on its debut and thinking May Nip was going to be the name of an interview guest I just hadn't heard of before. Congrats on 400 unhinged and misleading episode titles, Emily. So I wanted to read that because that was a congrats to me.
You know how I feel about the phrase, how about the word congrats. Put the full energy in, say the full congratulations. I like how, like, as we're saying thank you, I'm like, and here's what you did wrong. Interesting.
And here's your problem.
That you chose
but
that.
We're popping off. We're 2 weeks into, I think, all these new people joining us, and you have 2 more weeks to get 40% off your first month or first year with
we're keeping
Patreon
it going.
with the code MAYNIP, MAYNIP, and all of these lovely new people are joining us, and we're having so much fun. So yeah, we just want to check in and say thank you. This is wonderful.
It's wonderful, and it's good to know that the barrier to entry was the cost, not my personality. So thank you so much for that validation.
I think it's awareness. I think even if the cost isn't that high, I'm like, ooh, a deal.
Love a deal.
Yeah.
Love a deal. And we love our listeners so much that we are going to have a chance for you to be featured on our show. We've done it once with one caller. So send in your questions. How do they specify that this to Patreon? All right, you tell them.
So if you join Patreon, there is a thread. It is called Be Our Guest. That is a chat thread, a chat on our Patreon, Ask Iliza Anything Patreon. You can join for free to access this. You don't have to pay. So leave your question there. Those are the questions we review for the possibility of bringing you on the show. If we have not selected you to be on the show, it is simply because we need a question that we feel like we can kind of dig into more, that Iliza can get more details on. It's a very specific secret sauce we're figuring out. So it is not an indictment on your question. We are merely trying to produce correctly.
Analyzing it. And you know what? Feel free if you want to submit an old advice question, maybe that hasn't been answered. If you want to resubmit it as a Patreon proposal, because you could have said something juicy and you just didn't think about it. We would love to have you on. We got a lot of positive feedback about that. And we had a lovely chat with Lemonada today, and they were like, the great news is your content is awesome, and you just need to be better about posting like eye-catching images, but the content is great, because you're always like, is this me talking too much about conspiracy theories and Israel? And so I think I've done a good job. Interesting. It's interesting. Here's what I want to ask. Here's what I want to know. Yeah. Because I always think about this with our podcast. And like in my Slow Sunday post a few weeks ago, I talked about gratitude and how I'm grateful for the younger version of me that put in all the work. But I wince at the word gratitude because I think it's been co-opted / weaponized by like the pseudoscience, mental health care, spirituality industry. And I also deeply believe that gratitude is something we only demand that women be demonstrable, that women demonstrate, and nobody cares if men are grateful. The only time you ever hear men being really grateful are like black athletes when they've like won a big game. They always thank God. But like, I don't know. So in talking about that, where are all the mid-teen aughts, like empowerment, she boss bitch, yes you can, girl, wash your face, art of not giving a fuck, empowerment? I think one of them had a show that I was on and she got like canceled. Like, where are all those women? Because like my Aunt Debbie has been into like metaphysics and new age stuff my whole life, and she's never wavered. And she's always been that. And it's never been schmaltzy or weird. And she believes it. And she goes to the seminars, she reads the books. That is to me a blueprint. Like, you are in that. It is spiritual. It is metaphysical. Where are all the women in the big hats that were like espousing positivity, that made a brand in Ray Dunn font? Where are they now? Did you all just stop believing in that? Did you realize that it was bullshit? Like, what happened to that movement?
I think the most powerful thing anyone has ever done, any woman has ever done, forget going to space or whatever, was Marie Kondo being like, oof, now that I have a kid, you can't do this. You can't get rid of all your stuff. You can't declutter. My bad. Like,
That's
I
not
love
true.
when somebody comes out and says, actually, this thing I was espousing, it's not as easy as I made it look.
People love it when people go back. They're like, I was wrong. I was ignorant. They love it. Society loves it when someone's like, I was ignorant.
Want that. I don't want a mea culpa, but I appreciate seeing an evolution.
You can't get rid of stuff. Well, I don't know. I feel like if you don't have kids, it's like, sure, I'll live a tiny life, and then you have kids, you need a lot of stuff. But when I am feeling powerless, which is often, I purge. I know you're like, oh my God, an eating disorder. No, I go through my closet. I thin it out. I give away stuff. I go through the kids' closets. I'm like, you're not wearing this, right? Sierra's like, it's literally on my body. I'm like, it's too small. We got to go. I just get rid of stuff because you don't realize how much you accumulate. And as I get into my 40s, like, I'm all about like thinning out the herd, the horde, just the stuff, the friend group, the emails, the text, just thin. All I want to do is hit refresh on my email and have nothing come in.
Do you have a 0 email inbox?
No, fuck no. I have
used to,
2,806. You can't see that.
Now, are those things
idea.
you intend to get back to that you're still dealing with?
No, I think it's like, sometimes I answer something, but then I mark it unread. So I'm like, oh, have that top of mind, and things just kind of.
I do the same thing.
Nothing is unread. Like, nothing in there is something I need to get to.
Yeah.
But I also, maybe this is like an LA thing, and I don't know if other millennials are like, first of all, I don't use voicemail. And I think that's hard for my mom because she's like, I left you a voicemail. And it's sad because like one day my mom will not be here and I'll be like, should I check these voicemails? But like as a millennial, like a digital habit of mine is we don't check voicemail because we all use text and it's just easier. I don't check voicemail. It has never occurred to me. I have not checked my voicemail in years. Like I'm surprised it's not like a drug dealer thing where it's like this mailbox is full. I don't check voicemail. I don't use it. And chances are if you call me, I'm going to miss that call because the only control I have is to have my phone on silent. And I figure if you need me, I'll see the text.
Yes, I will say I love the voicemail thing that they do where it's like it transcribes it and it doesn't always make sense, but at least gives me enough of a gist like, is my mom dead or is she just like calling because she's walking the dog and she's bored? So I like getting to see that.
Or what
because
if
it used
she's a zombie?
It used to be you get a voicemail, you're like, what is it? I need to listen. What's good? Now I can just read it and go, okay, I see the keywords here. I'm good. I can text and say, hey, I'm in a meeting because I have a meeting at the same time every single day. And every single day you walk the dog at that time and call me and then wwonder where I am. And I'm in that same meeting.
Always calls it dinner. I'm like, well, there's a 3-hour time difference. The kids eat at 5. You call at 5 or 6. It's just, but it's not malicious.
Every single time. No, but it's like, I see it come in. And I don't have to go, oh God. I go, oh, I'm reading that she just goes, oh, guess you're in a meeting. I'm walking Spice.
Right.
Okay.
And I hate that name for that dog.
If you met her, you'd be like, this actually works. But you hate both of them though. My parents' dogs are Spice and Bella.
I hate both your parents.
So don't you like that my cats are Rizzoli and Isles? Which do you prefer?
What answer does your mental health hinge on more? And that's the one I'll give it on.
You not liking the names doesn't affect me. If you didn't like them, if you came and met them and you said...
I'm not making this about some animals I've never met. Please get back to the task, which is me telling you things that I like and don't like. And what I don't like a voice memo, a voice note. I think it's a power move. My mom friends do them. They'll be like, hey, this was too much to text. I'm like, really? Like I talk text. A voice memo feels like your boss. Like, I just got to write down some things that I need you to do. I always feel big timed. I never write them back or I don't listen to them. And I'm like, I'm not listening.
It depends who it's from. There are people where I love them. And then there are people where I'm like, this is a chore.
I have my own, I'm like nervous about this because I can't really talk about my personal life on here just because there's too many loose threads. But I have this memory in my 20s. You know, you had like your little group of girlfriends and one of our friends for her birthday wanted to go on a hike. Keep in mind, in your 20s, you're all about
for her birthday.
For her birthday.
For celebration.
I'll never forget it. Hiking the Topanga Hills, which is hot. And she wanted to do the hike and then eat chocolate cake at the end of it. Oh. And I remember thinking, like, what? It was almost like a human being read what humans like. And then they tried to like a robot read what humans like. And they're like, let's put it together, girlfriends. We go on this fucking hot hike, which I didn't want to be on because we're probably hungover because we're like 23. We eat this fucking chocolate cake and I hate chocolate.
Who carried the cake?
I don't know, but it was warm. And then I remember we got pizza and I was so thirsty and the pizza it had like bell peppers. And I just like then and there started, I ended up doing a bit about hiking in a special, like then and there started my disdain for like female groupthink activities. And I have a friend for her birthday. We were going to do a dinner, go out, figure it out. She was like, I want to go to karaoke. And I love my friends. It's a great group of women. And I didn't even want to be snarky in the text thread and be like, cool, you have fun doing that. But like, I'm like trying to protect my voice lately. And I'm also like, after we each sing a song, like, is this what we're doing? Now we're talking over someone belting out Ain't No Mountain High Enough. What is that? No. Like, you have to be so blasted. And I'm sorry, we just can't get that drunk. I don't get it.
No, that's not an activity I would ever want to do. That's not fun to me.
She's like, we can get drinks and food. I'm like, so can we just like eat in the room? And then we like I weirdly, like, I'm a stand-up comic. Obviously, I love the attention on stage. Like, I never want to sing in front of people. At my pets and my children, sure. But, like, it's not good.
I don't want to listen to other people sing, to be quite honest.
Your voice would have to be so fucking out of this world, and it's probably not going to be. And it's kind of like bowling, where it's like after a round, it's like, okay, here we go. Come up here and sing with me. And there, somebody's always going to want to sing like like Lady Marmalade, or there's some other like dumb girl empowerment song like Sisters.
What about that Pink song Rockstar? Like, I'm still a rock star. I get my game on.
What was that one that they sang in the Sex and the City movie?
Oh,
it was like
God.
What was that? It was some embarrassing.
I need to know.
We
It's
Are
gonna
Women,
drive me
Hear
nuts.
Me Roar.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn. Came out, didn't have to look that up.
Glenn's like, it's my time to shine. And if this person wrote into the podcast, I'd be like, you gotta go. You gotta suck it up and go. Because Lord knows your friends support you. You gotta go.
I know. If somebody else asks, should I go? I say, yeah, go for your friend. If somebody invites me, I'm going to say, I'm so sick that night already.
I can't. We're a tight group, and these girls are very like supportive. I can't not go, but I do reserve the right to not sing. Like I can be supportive.
Yes.
It brings me zero joy. Unless it's
just humiliating.
Unless it's the rap part of Super Bass.
See, yeah, I would need very specific. I'd be like, do they have the Funny Girl soundtrack? Can I sing some Barbara poorly? I get Don't Rain on My Parade, or If a Girl Isn't Pretty, or
the rap that I want to do is probably not available at that karaoke booth. So, all right. So I'm going.
I would love to do actually some Eminem. I would love to go. If somebody invites me in karaoke, I'm going to practice an Eminem song. Really, like practice real, and then just bust out one song and then just sit down. What
you should do is memorize Informer by Snow, because it's like kind of Jamaican, kind of gibberish. And because I know it, but I only know it phonetically. There's something on a plane, I like keep boom boom down. One day someone will be so impressed. Maybe I'll do like Bone Thugs and Harmony first of the month, but I don't think my friends would even appreciate that. So
no,
they don't deserve me.
No, but you do have to go.
I'm going. And I spearheaded the gift that we're getting her. So, I don't know. I don't get that. I'll be there.
You have to, you'll be there. Okay.
And
so
I'm
if
there
that
for- I'm
person
here
is
for you.
listening and they're worried that you're not showing up.
I'm not going to bail. It's not right.
What about, have you in the last 15 years played laser tag?
I've never played laser tag. I know I'd be so good at it, right?
You'd be so good at it. I feel like you would love it, actually.
I think I'd like paintball better because it feels more tactile. Like it feels more like re-rack it.
Well,
and then you're
because
hiding.
the problem with laser tag is I feel like it often feels like the thing isn't working. And I'm like, I hit that person. I know I hit that person. So I feel
There's
like
no way.
that's the problem. So,
But that's a great idea. Maybe I'll do that for my birthday. Like something super
Paintball?
physical.
yeah,
maybe.
like book out. They have really cool spots, I'm sure, in LA where it's like a whole outdoor course.
That's
like,
the thing.
You could do.
You can't go to a second location in LA. Like nobody wants to go out to like Chino Hills on a bus. No.
In LA, I bet there's one not too far, and then you can go get a nice meal. Or you eat before, so that because then you're covered in paint. I don't know, but I feel like having never played paintball, I feel like you would love paintball.
I think I'd love it. I think I'd love it. I think I would dominate.
I don't really understand what airsoft is, but
Isn't it like what police use for crowd control? Isn't that like an air gun? Like
it's like a gun. But if there's no paint, how do you know you hit are you just hitting people with soft bullets? I don't know. Paintball, I'm like, at least there's like a thing happening, but I think you should look into that.
You know what I've always wanted to do is like a Tough Mudder, like one of those like mud races with an obstacle course. But they're always in like San Diego. Like to me, it's like the drive. I'm like, it's
You
2
don't
hours
want to
away.
drive. Well, and then what about driving home covered in all that mud?
I think they have a shower facility.
You gonna share the shower with all those other muddy freaks?
I said, we're not naked. I don't know. Maybe you are. I feel like part of it is like going out for drinks and muddy and then going It feels very faith-based. It feels like your church group does it. And you're all
but
good
I'm just
looking.
imagining every restaurant.
You all get
where
muddy.
I know you froze. There you are.
Oh man, I was gonna take a picture of how ugly you looked when it froze. All right.
We were talking about faith-based Tough Mudders, and God smote us and froze our Riverside.
God's like, hey there,
recording.
don't you talk about my favorite athletes.
Imagine you're a restaurant owner though, where that happens. You're like, oh shit, all this money.
Oh, they're
people are
coming in.
Put the tarps down.
Put the tarps down. I love that.
Hi, Eliza, Emily, Scott, Glenn, Millie, and the rest. Eliza, I need your input on having children a bit later in life. I'm turning 29
Next.
this month.
You said 59 or 39?
20.
29. Okay.
I'm turning 29 this month. I am happily married with my husband, who is a bit older than me. We are expats living in Europe, where having children is not an urgent matter, but we come from a country where expanding your family young is the norm. My mom had me very young, and now my younger brother is expecting their second child, while we are not even planning one in the near future. And that inevitably adds some pressure. To be honest, I grew up parentified, constantly helping my stepdad. What are you doing?
I'm
There's
sorry.
so
I'm trying to get, there's
squeaking
a rug
noises.
under me. I'm sorry. I'm ready. I'm sorry.
Please fix your squeaks. It's the, I don't care. You could rock back and forth. I don't like the squeaks.
Okay, I'm ready.
To be honest, I grew up parentified, constantly helping my stepdad and moms solve their marital issues like a therapist. I didn't see it as a problem growing up. I felt honored to be trusted with such grown-up issues, but now I see how wrong it was of them to seek advice from a child. The thing is, I feel like this is one of the reasons I don't see myself becoming a mom, either just yet or maybe even ever. I feel the pressure from my mom, who's very nosy and opinionated. She keeps reminding me of the bio clock, but I just don't know if I want this. It's such a big and irreversible decision. I also feel so in love with my partner. Like there's no proverbial hole we need to fill. I would be perfectly happy as we are, the two of us. Yet, despite his support of whatever my decision is, the societal pressure can still leave a mark. One last important piece of info is that we are self-sufficient immigrants in a country where realistically we can't afford a baby just yet. We have no relatives here, no support system, expensive childcare. My brother has it differently. Their child spends 2 to 3 days a week with my mom, and she really helps them financially in many ways. I would never rely on her as much anyway. We have a difficult relationship, but it feels unfair that she doesn't see how different our situations are when she's asking for a grandchild. How do you know when it's the right decision to have a child, and how can you stick to your own timeline without letting the pressure get in the way? Thanks in advance, Anonymous.
Anonymous, first of all, you're 29. So you have time. You don't have all the time in the world, but you have time. Our biological clocks have really changed, and like people are having babies at like 50. You're risking a lot by doing that, but you have time and you got to want it. Now, sometimes people write in and they're like, I don't know. And it's like, sometimes we're like, you should try to have a baby because it seems like you do, and then you won't be able to. But you have such a sour taste in your mouth from the whole experience. I understand why you're like, I'm good. I've already parented enough for one lifetime. It seems to me, I wonder how long you and your husband have been married. You have to always remember that you are on your own path, and your husband needs to be reminding you of that as well. And that is so smart that you're like, we don't have the money for this. We can't afford childcare. Like that's a very forward thinking way to be. And your mom doesn't take those into consideration. Have you expressed to your mom how resentful you are of all of that growing up? I'm just curious. Because then she's going to be like, well, we didn't really do that much. And there is a version where you're misremembering it and it was less than you think, but it's still the way that you feel. And it's left this mark, right? Remember when you had that caller that wrote in and she was like, was she like sexually assaulted or something? So she doesn't want to have a baby. Do you remember her? Like she went through something awful. And so the idea of sharing her body was very upsetting to her. She didn't want to do it. Women want to have kids for all different reasons, and they don't want to have babies for all different reasons. And if more people put thought into it the way that you are, we'd have a better world and we'd have better parents. So the answer is you have to always come back to what makes you feel good. And the conversation never has to end. It can be an ongoing conversation, but your mom is not a part of your marriage. And I do suggest talking to a therapist to explore those feelings, because it may not, I'm making this up, it may not be having your own baby that actually bothers you. What bothers you is that you've never voiced it to your mom. What bothers you is that you didn't have a childhood, so you're trying to live that out now. You know, I understand that you're like, I want to have my freedom and enjoy myself now. And there are plenty of people who just get married and they just like being with each other. You should have a kid because you have a deep desire to care for a child. That's it. No one normal is going to be like, well, you should do it anyway. Because there are women who just don't want to be moms. I wouldn't close the door, but you're not.
Yeah. I think that's where I think reading your question, nowhere in there is there any indication, and there doesn't have to be, but there is no indication you want a child because you want a child. You're saying, my mom wants me to have one. This wants me to have one. I feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I need one. My partner's cool with whatever. And I think it's good to keep the door open because your mind could change in 5 years or whatever. So
that's right.
But you are sitting there saying, we are happy as is. The only reason you're considering it is your mom bothering you about it and you feeling like that's what society wants. You didn't say in there at all, like, I would actually love to raise a child. I would love to pass this on or share this. Nowhere did you say that. So don't have a kid right now. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And keep checking in with your husband, seeing how you guys feel. But also sometimes we have a thought that guides us through life. And then one day you're like, that's actually not my thought anymore. Like your whole life, you want to be an actor. And then at 35, a pandemic hits and you move to Nashville. You're like, you know what? I do love teaching yoga. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm just saying sometimes the personality that we put on from a young age, we don't hold those same values, but you forget to check back in. You're like, do I want to go to med school? I've been working at this for so long. Did I want to even be on SNL? Do I even want to be a mom? Do I even not want to be a mom? You mature, things change. Keep that conversation going.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. It's like my mom, this is so unrelatable, but I'm just going to say this. My mom's always like, why don't you guys buy a house in Aspen? You know, for the networking. And I'm like, well, I probably could not even afford a house next to Michael Eisner or Mariah Carey. And her whole point was like, why don't you move somewhere where there are other people who, you know, are of a similar ilk or a higher social echelon. And it is a good idea. Like, you know, maybe freezing your eggs is a good idea. Maybe entertaining the thought of being a mother, but there is no part of me that actually wants to have a house there, nor could I afford it. And so even though that's what she always wanted, and that makes sense, and I see why, I bought a house somewhere else. Like, I know that's like a weird thing to say, but it's like your mother is coming from, like, she's coming from a good-hearted place. And I'm just like, that's not where my values are. I don't care if I hang out with billionaires. I want to go somewhere that I can afford, where I'm comfortable with people who are similar to me. I don't want to be like the poor house on the billionaire block and I can't afford to go out to dinner. And so your parents will always give advice because they want you to have either what they have or a better life. But only you can decide for yourself. So we're just here to affirm that you're doing okay.
And that you have time.
That being said, if I had an extra several $1 million, I would just have a house in Aspen. Although it is a pain in the ass to get in and out of there. And that's how they want it. They don't want you coming.
We have a July 4th question. So we need to get to it. It's July 1st. Hi, I am having a backyard barbecue for the 4th of July. My husband and I don't have kids. Usually our parties are an escape for our friends to get babysitters. Some friends will be coming by with their kids on the 4th. Any suggestions of what I can have on standby so they're not bored? Most of the kids are 4 to 6 years old. I know they can just run around and have fun, but I don't want it to seem that I didn't think about the kids. And Iliza, I think this is a great question for this episode as well, because guess what? When you write in on Patreon, which this question was written in on, other people can like give their advice before we get to your question. So another person commented and said, I often host and I have a small bin I keep for entertaining kids, coloring books, sticker books, sidewalk chalk, Play-Doh set, puzzles, bubbles, kinetic sand, all of which can be reused for future gatherings. I love that idea that this person has like some little tote, little box, and they're like, oh, the kids are here. I have a few little reusable things that they can go to town on. That's great if you have friends with kids.
That's it. I mean, I was literally thinking a plastic kiddie pool with a few toys in it, coloring books, and you can always keep it and pull it out. And then it becomes like the special thing that you pull out. Little kid, I don't know if you want to deal with this. Little kids love like fake tattoos, stickers. You could just, and also like they can run around, like they'll be running around. They'll probably want to hang out with their parents too, between 4 and 6. I would just do that. Maybe like some building blocks, like a big
Yeah.
Jenga or something. That's it in the corner. And then beyond that, honestly, it's not really your responsibility. Parents should bring stuff. And fruit. I would have, by the way, a separate kid table because I cannot stand when I go to a nice party and I see little kids putting their hands on charcuterie, on cheese, on fruit because they're filthy. Separate kids platter. That way it's separate and they'll be preoccupied with eating over there. Maybe a thing of popsicles, just anything that kind of separates it. You do not want kids. I can't when parents like don't see that. I'm like, your kid has snot dripping out of their nose and they're touching the bowl of olives we're all eating. Like, I'm good.
Just get a little lick in on that bowl.
They get the less nice stuff. You can go to Costco to get their fruit and everyone else can have the nice stuff. They get Kroger fruit.
Yeah, I think I get this person saying like, I just want people to think that I thought of their kids. Like, that's what you're doing. I think also having like a spot where it's like maybe a room where they can go hang out and be quiet or whatever.
Their own
Just so it's
area.
not like, because I think the worst is if the kids show up and you go, don't touch that, don't go over there, don't do that. Like, just think about where are they going to sit? Where's their fruit going to be? If they put a fruit hand over here, is that okay? Great.
Maybe some water play thing. Do you have a hose? Can you hook it up to one of those like things that splashes water and kids can play around it? You know,
Just soak the kids when the kids arrive. Soak them with a hose.
and be like,
I
go sit
actually
over
saw
there.
something. I saw something really cute online, which is kids posing on a driveway, on a concrete driveway, and their dad in the hot months spraying water all over them. So then when the kids move, there's a shape left there. So they made a Mary Poppins. They held an umbrella and stuff, and then he sprayed them with water. And when they got up, the shape was on the concrete. So it's like, give kids a bucket of water and let them go outside.
Give them some water. I got an alert earlier that we have a new Patreon member. Her name is Diana Ripple. That's a great last name.
That is a great list.
Triple Ripple. Okay.
We're doxing the members because we like their names.
Triple Ripple. Come on.
Thanks for signing up, Triple Ripple. We appreciate you.
Fudge Ripple. She's like, I've heard it. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sick of it.
Interesting.
Hello. It's not an official AIA email if you don't open it with hello, Iliza, Emily, Hot Scotty, and all the human and fur babies. But when Iliza, this person wrote this, but she said, hello, Iliza, Emily, Hot Scotty, and all the human and fury babies.
Fury babies. Angry
Now that
little
the first-
babies. The angriest
Sometimes
baby.
you have angry babies.
Sometimes.
Now that the first order of business is addressed, here's the predicament my mind has somehow gotten into. I need help choosing bridesmaids without overthinking it into oblivion.
Ooh. Okay.
My fiance has a super clear, tight-knit group. And meanwhile, my friendships feel more scattered. I have people
Yes.
I love, but no obvious lineup. On top of that, I really don't want anyone I ask to feel obligated or blindsided. Being a bridesmaid is expensive and time-consuming, and some of the women I'd consider are new moms or just in busy life seasons. The last thing I want is to accidentally put pressure on someone to say yes. So now I'm stuck between wanting a small, meaningful group and feeling weird about not matching his side, or even whether I need a maid of honor at all. Are there good alternative ways to structure a bridal party that feel less traditional or lower pressure? Is it okay to skip having one altogether or to include people in different, more flexible roles? How do I make it clear that there's zero pressure to say yes? And how do I balance wanting support on the day with being mindful of people's times, finances, and life stages? Basically, how do I do this in a way that feels true to me and considerate of them without making it awkward? Just shoot it straight. I know you will. Truly love all you guys do. Olivia.
Olivia, I think it's so funny that we get asked so many bridal questions because I'm definitely.
I've
look
never
at the-
been married. You've been married once.
So far.
So
Olivia, you need to realize that you're worth it. And that is incredibly, not open-minded, but you're so conscientious of other people's time, because we get people that are like, I'm a bridesmaid and they're asking me to do too much. First of all, only have the people that you want. Don't worry about matching his side.
No.
I know we see the weddings where the bride and the groom, they walk down there. Oh my God, have you seen that video of the groomsmen and the bridesmaids walking down the aisle and this girl, like her dress split open or something when she was like doing like the required dance and you just like fully see her thong. It was in Miami, so it was okay. Anyway, it was great.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Think about when you're standing up there with your soon-to-be husband, who would be meaningful for you to have stand there to like glance over, and who do you think on the day would be your rock and that would help you get ready? And you can ask them. I understand that people are busy, and you can ask in a very sweet way and be like, I also understand that you are so busy. So if it is too much for you, I really do understand. Give them that. And then you make your little group. I think there's something so special about, even though we get a lot of people on this podcast that are like, I texted the other bridesmaids, they didn't write back. Like, those women are shitty. There's something really special about grouping together a group of women and the common thread is you. And I find that women tend to get very excited. Like, hey, it's Anonymous's bridal party list 2027. And then they all chime in and then they become friends. Pick a good group of that, but be specific about it. And I think it's very sweet to ask them, and you give them the option to be like, if you can't, if you think it's too much of a financial burden, it's okay to say no. You just put that out there, because I think a lot of times women don't give that option. And you also need to really sit down quietly and think like, what do I want? In my perfect day, like when we got married and we were looking at our guest list, Noah was like, when you turn around at the reception, are you going to be excited to see this person, or are you going to be like, okay, great. Did you invite them out of obligation? This marks the beginning of sort of thinning the herd of friends. Not everybody can be invited. And if they really love you, they'll understand that. I don't know your financial restrictions. Who do you want to be surrounded by that day? Is it the friend that brings a lot of drama, but you've known her since the 4th grade? Is it your organized friend? Is it the friend that you can't rely on, but they're really cool? Like, what do you want? Like, when you close your eyes and envision it, and then ask them. That's a sweet thing to ask and give them the out. But it doesn't, you don't want no one. You're just so afraid of being in the way. But I think you need to chill with that talk, because you're getting married. It's okay to be a little bit about you. And I would venture to say that leaks into your personal life as well. You're probably not a burden, so don't come from a place of that.
No, but if you're someone who is this conscientious, think about also what you expect, what you would want, because I doubt you are going to give a maid of honor so many tasks. Think about what you want. Is it that you want a bachelorette party and that's it? Is it that you want to get together and look at dresses? Is it that, and let those people know the expectations when you talk to them, like, hey, I'm not going to do 15 bridal showers, but I would love to get together with my maids of honor for this and this. And also, don't not ask because you think they're too busy. Let them decide if they're too busy, 100%. And ask the people that you love the most. I don't care if they're a new mom. Like, if they're a new mom, they can say, I'm busy. I can't do that, but I want to be there for you on the day. Or I can be the flower girl. Or I would love to come to the bachelorette. Like,
no, but I can contribute in this way. You could even, I would create an email, since it doesn't sound like you're going to be like sending like a gift basket asking them. I would write down what it is that you want for yourself. Like, what do you see? Do you want a bachelor? You also shouldn't be afraid to want these things. Do you want a bachelorette party? Do you want a big bridal shower? Do you want to have a bunch of women around you? You may not. You don't know. Only you can answer that. But don't be afraid to ask for it, because don't forget, these are your friends and they love you and they're excited for you.
Yeah. If you want 3 women to go with you to karaoke, ask for that. Like, just let them know the expectations.
They have to go.
They have to go. Well, I think the thing with bridesmaids that happens a lot is that we have people write in that are like, oh my God, I'm now being asked to pay for a trip to Paris. Right. It's like, what? Like, as long as you set expectations up front, people are going to appreciate that and respect it. And guess what? If it's far enough away and they want to do it, they can save for it. It's just not springing things on people.
I think it sounds to me like you have a couple of close friends. And if these are close friends, like, it's worth asking them. And then you kind of know where you stand. She might be like, I can't do it, but I would love to pay for the brunch. I can't do it, but I'd love to chip in for whatever. Like, you just need someone to run point. So get that person first, your maid of honor, and go from there.
Hi, all. About 4 years ago, my best friend since we were teenagers committed suicide. In the years since, I've occasionally reached out to her parents via text and met up with them for coffee once when visiting my hometown. I don't go back there often. For some reason this year, I just haven't reached out, and it's making me feel really guilty. I have a ritual of running through the redwoods on her birthday while listening to playlists she made me in high school. This year I thought about what I would text them while I was running, broke down sobbing. It was pretty cathartic, but then I never actually texted them, and I didn't reach out on the anniversary of her death this year either. I have 2 questions. 1, do you think they appreciate me reaching out, or do you think it just makes them even more sad? Number 2, would it be totally inappropriate to reach out now, apologize for the radio silence, and ask if they have any footage of her playing piano? She was apparently really gifted and took comfort in playing, but over a 17-year friendship, I somehow never actually saw her perform. When I think about it now, I'm crushed to not have those memories. Thanks for your advice you can provide, Jesse. And Melody, if you're listening, yes, this is about Alex.
Oh, hey, Melody. Jesse, I think I think there are no rules. I have not dealt with a suicide. I'm sure the parents didn't reach out to you and they probably think, oh, we don't want to bother her. She's living her own life. I'm sure that they like you reaching out because it feels like a connection to their daughter. I would imagine that. You don't have to feel guilty that you didn't do it. And you don't have to feel bad. I think there's nothing wrong with writing them an email. You could even take the temperature, be like, and I loved her so much. Does it upset? Ask them. Be like, I miss reaching out and then I felt bad. And I just was curious if it makes it worse, if it exacerbates anything when I reach out, because I would never want to be that. I think that's a fair question to ask. I also don't know how they are when you do reach out, but it seems like they're pretty open to it. And I think establish that, get that off your chest. And then in the communication, be like, I was also wondering if you have any video of her. I mean, I don't know. Are you just going to look at it? Be like, and then you could say,
she
in
never
17
saw
years,
her play.
I never saw her play. I'd love to see it. I can't imagine a mother that would be like, no, I don't want to share that. Parents love to talk about their kids, and that is so awful, but you're her best friend. That's a connection to her. So I'm sure they've said nothing because they're like, we don't want to bother this girl and weigh her down. And I think it would be touching for them to know that you think about her.
I think letting them know you think about her is really the key here. And so I think it wouldn't even, I don't think you apologize and say, I'm so sorry to reach out. But I think you can say, I was doing my yearly run through the redwoods where I listened to this playlist, and it was really hard this year, and I still miss her so much. So I didn't reach out, but I was just thinking of you all, and I think
you
of
don't
her
owe them an apology. I was just thinking of you all. And I hope my reaching out doesn't make you uncomfortable. I don't even think you need to say that, but you can if you wanted to know. But they're adults and they could opt not to write back. Of course, you don't hurt them. And then in this, and you should be like, she loved piano. It made me think. I'd never seen her. If you have any videos, I sure would love to see them. You guys are in my thoughts. I think it's all lovely, truly.
I think so. I think this is, again, so hard not being the parents, but I don't think there's anywhere, even if it's tough for them, I think we let them decide that for themselves, much like the maids of honor, totally similar situations. Let them tell you.
Interesting.
Because right now in my mind, it's a nice reminder that she still is being kept alive by this thing that you do every year. It's very sweet and meaningful. So yeah, the only thing, my only thought is parents aren't great with technology. So it's like, maybe it's, hey, if you have a video, or like, could you share any of the songs that she used to play or practice or something? I don't know. Like,
or you could come over, like, just because if they're like, oh, it's on a camera, like, be like, maybe next time I'm in town, but like, don't make them upload it to like a server.
Right. I know. I'm just worried about these people having to upload a file.
I sent you this USB. If you could convert it to a doc file and then convert it back to an MP3 and then upload it to me to Dropbox, I'll give you a password.
And I also wonder, in that vein, if you have any videos of her that maybe they haven't seen.
Yeah, that could be nice.
That you could say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's all very sweet. You don't need to carry it that heavy, though. You didn't do anything wrong.
No, you're a good person.
You're a good person.
Hi, AIA crew. 24 female, and moving to a new city soon. We'll be trying to make new friends. When meeting new people in the past, I've often been shocked at how intrusive some of their casual get-to-know-you questions are. They might start pretty normal with, what do you do for work? What neighborhood do you live in? But then lead to more personal questions such as, what company do you work for? What do you live near? Who do you live with? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have friends? Anybody who's asking if you have friends is a freak.
And do you have other people who tolerate you?
I'm not scared for my safety per se, but I don't want to share such personal information with people I have just met, especially since it seems like they are asking these questions to figure out my social and economic status and see if I am worth being friends with rather than start a real conversation. How do I avoid sharing more than I want to while not being rude when trying to make friends? Thank you, Valerie. No need to keep me anonymous.
You know, Valerie, I feel like maybe it's because I live in LA. I feel like those are all very normal questions.
What else would I ask besides those questions? I don't know.
What do you mean
ask?
a real conversation? I don't know anything about you. So am I going to ask your political opinions? Am I going to ask you about your spirituality? I think these questions, these are very normal questions. And I understand what you're saying about like social status, but these questions are there to suss out, are we similar enough to then have that real conversation? People talk about the weather and they make small talk, but that's, what company do you work for? Yeah, I'm sorry. Like if I'm the CEO of a big company and you tell me that you clean bathroom stalls, we're just not going to have anything in common. It doesn't mean I can't be nice to you. It just means water seeks out its own level. People look for similarities. People who are married look for married friends. People who have higher degrees, probably want to hang out with people who also like value education in that way. I think that these are normal things. You feel like they're prying. You feel like they're judging you before you can even say who you are. I think there are ways to answer those while injecting like a bit of who you are. You can also, it's because you can't not answer it. Because if you're like, I work for a big company, they're like, what company? Like the less you say, the more they're going to want to know.
I think that these are also, they're just all boring questions, but I will say, like, what do you live near? It's like, no, what do you want my exact address? Who do you live with? That's weird. Do you have a boyfriend? I mean, I guess that's like, yeah, okay, you can answer that.
It's not weird. It's not a weird question. They're just trying to suss out. People love talking about dating. They love knowing like, oh, you have a boyfriend. You seem cool. I have a boyfriend. Maybe we could go out sometime. People are looking for likeness. I'm just saying what you could do is have like a story ready. If I understand not wanting to tell someone where you live, but around it, you could be like, I live, on 3rd, where that Starbucks is. And then no one's going to be like, where specifically? So you could be like, and there was a dog the other day. Like you could have a story about something. Or I live off Wilshire, which is forever under construction. And then they'll latch onto that and be like, I know, it's been 20 years. You could have stuff put in place. But I think what's bothering you is that you feel judged before you get to explain who you are.
You need to take stronger control of the conversation as well, because these questions to me read as somebody who's asking someone because they're getting nothing back. So they're like, what do you do? Where are we? What do you live with anyone? Like if you're asking the other person, people love to talk about themselves. If you're asking them questions,
switch it up.
They won't have time to ask you like what your social security number is.
Yeah. Do you have a boyfriend? You can just be like working on it. Are you seeing anyone? That's really pretty. Like it is, humans are so easily distracted. And if they are asking you a ton, like maybe they are trying to pry it out of you. Maybe you're a really pretty girl and they're like, maybe if I just keep her talking, but deflect,
I also wonder,
ask about them.
Has there been a safety concern in the past? Because you say, I'm not scared for my safety per se. So has there been a safety concern? How much of that is affecting you? Have you had a stalker? Are you concerned now when people ask too many questions? Then that's fair. That's fair. But I think most people probably aren't acting in bad faith. They're probably just bad conversationalists.
People are scanning what you're saying to see what they know about it. When I ask, where are you from? All I want to know is it somewhere that I've played? What's the one thing that I know about that city? I don't really care about you. Like Cincinnati, Skyline Chili. Had it once, didn't like it. Next. People are just looking to find themselves in you. So give them more for them to latch onto by asking them questions. But it's a very normal thing because I'm sorry, you don't want to go to a party and talk to someone for an hour and then you realize that person's a psychopath who like makes art out of cat urine. And you're like, okay, I guess that was the whole party, was talking to this lunatic who now has my phone number, who I don't like. But at least I didn't tell them where I worked.
First time caller, long time listener, like long time. Like I've been here from the beginning of the podcast. I love your Titus Welliver episode and your episode of Bosch.
Oh, thank you.
You posted on Instagram about my favorite coffee place years ago, Coffee Gallery in Halewa. I went to your last show on Oahu and you teased my husband about his hat.
Oh, that
The
sounds
perfect
like me.
Iliza experience. Yeah. Most of the time you solve my problems just by just listening, but it's finally my turn to write in. If it matters, I am 31, female. I fear I am on the opposite side of your typical advice. I think I'm the problem, and I'd like to know how to fix
Ooh.
it.
Dun, dun, dun.
My husband's younger sister, 28-ish, Bree, is who I am writing in about. I've been married to her brother, Orson, for 3 years. Together for 7, we met on Tinder.
Okay.
Initially, Bree and I got along great, similar interests and such, but eventually, her and my husband's bad relationship began leaking into mine and her relationship, and it was negatively impacted. No surprises there. They have since gotten to a better place. I got married in October of 2023. She was going to be a bridesmaid. It was my idea. But once the day came and her free trip to Hawaii began, she hurt her knee and she had the flu. I thought that
Oh my
she was doing
God.
this for attention. So did my husband. She didn't show up to the rehearsal that morning. And I told my wedding planner I kind of didn't want her to be a bridesmaid and my other frustrations with her. I kind of knew what I was doing, but I was also just venting. My wedding planner told my mother-in-law that Bree was no longer a bridesmaid without saying anything to me first. The rest of the wedding went off without a hitch. It was the second best night of my life. The Eras tour was the first. Our relationship at this point wasn't bad, but it was strained. I ended up apologizing and explaining myself a year later at Bree's cousin's wedding. We were in a great place then.
Okay.
Fast forward to last December. We went on a family vacation. My husband, Bree, their parents, cousin, and her husband were all there. I got too drunk and spilled quite literally my deepest, darkest secrets and behaved like a blacked out drunk person because I was. I cannot begin to explain how embarrassing this was. I apologized multiple times. I cannot begin to explain how I'd like to erase this night from my memory. I've been in therapy since, and I'm in a much better place. I spoke with my husband later, and he told me Bree hated me for the things I said. I honestly don't remember half the night and don't blame her. Bree/Orson's parents have since forgiven me, to my knowledge. Not sure about their cousins, but I'm hopeful that they would move forward. Because our relationship wasn't perfect from the start, should I just not apologize again or let Bree come to me? Do I just pretend like nothing ever happened? I'm seeing her in September for another cousin's wedding. I feel so bad. I never ever meant for anything like this to happen. I hate that I have to write this and be on the other end. Help. How can I get our relationship back to normal? Is it even possible? Can't wait to see you back on Oahu or sooner at one of your California shows. Thanks for being my big sister and for making motherhood less scary to us younger millennials.
Oh,
Love
rub it
you
in.
and the rest of the Iliza team. Not anonymous Cheyenne.
Oh, Cheyenne. Okay.
Cheyenne, what did you say?
What did you say, Cheyenne? Can we get your husband on here? Can you be our guest?
We
I
have
need to know.
questions, Cheyenne.
Here's what you did. You got drunk. You got a little white trash. And you got drunk. And you told Bree what you thought of her. And you told her that she got hurt on purpose and that she's immature. And the fact that the husband, that's her brother. They're allowed to have an imperfect relationship. And you told her all these things that you probably deep down think or don't think. Maybe you have a problem with alcohol, whatever. The point is you said a bunch of stuff that hurt her and you were angry and you were verbally violent. And that's never, ever, she's never, ever, ever going to forget it. Ever. But you have apologized and you have done everything in your power, which I want to applaud you on because most people would not go to therapy, apologize to the parents. You've done everything. Bree is within her right to be like, wow, because if she wrote in, I'd be like, you need to keep this woman. You need to keep Cheyenne at arm's length because she does not like you. Now, you might like her. There was a time that you didn't, and maybe she was immature, and maybe you were right, but you said a bunch of hurtful things. However, you've apologized. You did not physically hurt her. You did not kill anyone. You need to move on. And when I say move on, you go to this wedding, you say hi, you don't need to apologize anymore. Hopefully she'll get drunk and say something weird, but it is kind of weird to like hold it over someone's head forever, but you cannot blame her for not like being excited and kind of holding on to that. Hopefully she'll write into the podcast and we'll be like, you need to kind of like let it go or at least agree to disagree and
Yeah.
be civil. And it sounds like you will be. And I feel like enough time has passed that at this wedding, hopefully you're not drinking, you can just like say hi. And because what more could you possibly do? And it's probably not worth beating yourself up further.
No, you guys are never going to be BFFs. She already had a strained relationship with your husband, her own brother. Like, you guys just weren't. I think just being fine with each other is great. You guys don't
fine.
have to be besties. It doesn't sound like she was a super special person in your life. It's not like you got along, you had shared interests. Guess what? You don't need her. And if you've apologized to her, you are good. Like, you can only self-flagellate so much. You're in therapy. You've done everything you possibly could. I do need to know what your secrets are, but
I will say, Cheyenne, she did start it. She started it because she got the flu. You didn't want to go to the wedding or the rehearsal dinner.
She doubled up on excuses, and that was her problem. If she had just had one, she could have gotten away with it.
That is where the issue is that she lied, and there is nothing in this world that she can say that will convince you she was not lying. And therein is the issue, because you believe she is immature and is the kind of person who does shit like that. And you said it was I don't know if it was a free trip to Hawaii or a trip to Hawaii, and she's the baby and she's got these issues. So she was maybe immature.
Yeah.
How that got to her that she was uninvited, that doesn't seem like it bothered her that much, or she was still at the wedding. She just wasn't. But it's like, look, you have the flu. So why would I have you be part of it? It's a lot of relationships that like start to go bad at the wedding. And I always say they bring out the best and worst in people. So while she didn't deserve that, like, let's not pretend that she wasn't like a little shitty.
Yeah.
So you did apologize, and that's a very adult thing. Now you need to move on, and so does she. You do not owe her another apology. Okay. Just so we're clear. Miss Cheyenne. By the way, can I just say something? I had something like that happen to me. I did not get drunk and say something. I've definitely like gotten drunk and was like, whoops. But in our friend group, there was this guy who was always kind of like an angry little man, but we all went to school together and we're all like friends of friends. And one of my friends always thought he was kind of snaky. And I don't know what happened. We were at a brunch. This kid who was like 5'5" flipped out on me in front of my friends, screamed at me. And I'm like 22. And I don't even remember why. All I remember thinking is like, I've never had a man like yell at me like this. And I'll never forget that my girlfriend did not defend me. She said nothing because she's a beta. And it was so fucking uncomfortable. To this day, I will not, like, not that I ever see this person, but like I think they like sent an email once. I erased it. I'm like, I will never be mean to you, but you also like, you are dead to me. And the other day, a friend that I've had forever that I never see reached out and said something about him. And I was like, well, I feel like, and I said like a snarky comment. They're like, yeah. And what did I have to look it up now? Hold on one second.
Yeah, get the receipts.
Oh, that's right. My friend reached out and he's like, are you going to South by Southwest? And I was like, I am. And he goes, this friend is is doing something there. He manages an event space there.
Yeah.
If you wanted to come by, keep in mind, I've not seen this person in maybe 20 years. If you wanted to come by, if you want to do something, because when you go to a festival, people are always trying to, and I said, I've always really liked you a lot. And I'll leave that with a very nice no. And he goes, totally cool. Thanks for the response. I've always liked you a lot as well. And I said, I'm sure a lot of people have that reaction to working with this friend. LOL.
Yeah.
And he was like, anyways, thanks something. But like, that was the most I could say. It was just like, hey, I would, over my fucking dead body, would I ever do your friend a favor?
Yeah.
So I got to snack on that. But I know what that feels like to be yelled at by a crazy person. Not that you're crazy, Cheyenne.
But just
I'll
to
never
get it
forget
with
that.
both barrels.
And I got to say no. And it's also good to know that like you manage like an event space. Like, okay, why would I ever, cool. Okay. I'll never forget that you flipped out at me, you small little shitty man. Okay. Top of the cup.
It's the top of the cob. You're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
Okay, we have a really good one. And the email, sometimes things go into spam, but it's okay. I find them. But this bottom of the cob is from a year ago, and I don't care. I'm reading it. So, Beth,
Oh, okay.
I'm reading your bottom of the cob. Hi, Pod Crew. Not sure if this is more a bottom of the cob or more of a pet hate. I call it, it's a bottom. This also might only be a thing you see in England, but I cannot stand tiny houses which have names instead of street numbers, like a tiny 1-bedroom bungalow that's called Bellevue Lodge with the sign in the too big wall out front to boot.
I guess a big sign
an
out front.
estate. Like, come on.
I love the name.
You don't live in a mansion or a castle. Just be number 22 or something like all the other houses on the street. Secondary pet hate, small houses with front gates bigger than their whole front of their house. It's not Fort Knox. Just chill. Loves to you all, Beth.
Beth doesn't like a small house. Beth's an elitist.
Beth doesn't like a big gate. I love this cob.
I think it's so romantic. You know who has a name, not a number? Sharon Stone.
Oh, yeah.
It's named something.
Fucking should. As she should.
She fucking should.
But I don't want to just see one that some commoner is living in. If you're not Sharon Stone level, your house has to be a number.
It's very lake house / mountain house / Swiss chalet to name your house. I wonder if they do that in Martha's Vineyard. I think that's funny that it bothers you. I think it's so sweet. And it's so cute. We don't have that here, but I did ask one year for a gift for a homemade sign that said the Cliffs of Chenier. And I put it in my little lumpy Korean grass in the back. And those are the Cliffs of Chenier. So I did name those.
Oh.
And my dad had a sign made. We have a corner that has some roses. And my dad had a sign made for some reason in Spanish that just says Rincón de las Rosas, which means rose corner. And I was like, I guess. I guess you
sure.
He had it made. Okay.
You can name whatever you'd like. My bottom is what was the name of his steak restaurant in his house?
Oh, it was the Greystone Grill, but they moved.
The Greystone Grill. Oh, okay.
I tried to get it as a location on Google. Wait, what would you name your house if you had an estate? Like you could name your house. Infuriating Beth, if you could name your house.
I don't know, but I will say I looked at a house on a street called Butternut Cove.
Ooh.
And I wanted that to be my address. I wanted to say I live on Butternut Cove, but it was one of those like new builds where they've bulldozed every tree down and it was just like open beating sun and a bunch of identical row houses. And that was just not, I live in a very woody area now. But I was like, oh, if I could just say I live on Butternut Cove. So I'm going to name my house Butternut Cove.
The Butternut Cove murders. It's a triple homicide involving 2 cats. I would probably it would just be Richard Machine. It would just be Simple Machine. And it would be a picture of Tianfu.
My bottom of the cob is we're in summer. It's July 1st. We're in summer. And I'm starting to get those little gnats that get inside in the summer. Like little fruit guys, little fruit flies.
You can't get rid of them.
Where you're just like, now they're in, like there was one I had one piece of fruit and now it's over for me. They're just here and this is my life. There's been one up here while I've been recording. You gotta I hate
declare them as dependents on your taxes and just own it.
Yeah. What's your bottom?
My bottom of the cob is when you accidentally put too much product in your hair. And like I took time to like clean my hair thoroughly and I was going to like take my time and straighten it. And I just got a little too liberal with some product. And then all of a sudden like you have a chunk of hair that's greasy and you can't really take another shower. And it's like making your hair quote unquote dirty when it was so clean because you put in just like a little too much like whatever oil or bonding peptide or whatever. Cause I need so little and I always forget that. And just have like an oily slick. And I was like, well, I guess we're not wearing it down now. I guess it's another chic low bun day here at 43.
I bought a little rubber brush thing for your head just because I was like, I got to make sure all the product gets through.
Oh, yeah. What product do you even use?
Shampoo, conditioner. But I was just like, I just want to make sure it's getting in there.
Yeah. Top of the cup.
Top of the cob, another listener from 2025. You know what? Being a 38-year-old woman and being asked out by a 30-year-old guy. This isn't the first time I've met a much younger hottie at my gym. I am the group fitness coach, so maybe these guys like being told what to do by an older woman. Regardless, it's very good for my ego. Going out with him Saturday night, yay for me. Aaron with an E. So Aaron,
Careful,
that was
Aaron.
a year ago. How you guys doing?
Yeah. Also, careful, Aaron, because you don't want to be like the CrossFit lady that wrote in about the guy at the gym that's just scooping up young ladies and fucking them.
Scooping them up.
Now it's
Scooping
the
up. By the
drama
way, she
gym.
followed up. She followed up to be like, the women were mad because he was not telling he was not telling anyone that he had multiple partners, which is like, I mean, but did he tell them that they were exclusive?
Oh, sorry. I thought you wrote Aaron and wrote a year later to be like, by the way, it was a major HR violation and I am homeless. Okay.
No.
What's yours?
My top is, okay, this actually just happened. I was like, things that I do and then I feel like a good person. Specifically, I knew a package was coming and it actually was just delivered. And it's not dark out yet, but it's like, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. So I turn on my porch light, like, yes, that's for the person who's delivering
That's
my
for them.
package. I'm doing this for them. And even though it's the dumbest thing, and of course it's like basic courtesy to not have it be pitch black at your home when someone's bringing a package, I'm just like, this is for you as I flip the light on. Here you go.
Yeah, I mean, do you leave little snacks?
I've thought about when it gets really hot in the Georgia heat, like putting out a cooler with water and stuff. But then I'm kind of like, I don't know if it's weird. I don't know if it's
not
weird.
weird.
And they're like, are you poisoning me? Like, what's going on?
Nobody thinks, first of all, it's a sealed can. Are you like handing out like individual cups of soup? Like it's sealed. We get sent Spindrift. We love Spindrift. They send us all the new flavors and we have a ton of it. And so anytime I interact with a driver, sometimes they leave the food sometimes, or a gardener person or someone doing like helping you, I'm always like, do you want a soda? And they almost always say yes.
You
and
say
they're-
soda?
I say soda and they're little.
Well, then they're
like,
expecting something good.
it is good. It's
I mean,
Spindrift.
Spindrift is good, but then they're
Soda
expecting
water.
like a Coca-Cola. You need to say, do you want a bubbly water?
No one wants a bubbly water. No one wants that like that. They always get excited and they're just fucking thirsty. They don't care.
Yeah. All right. Then maybe
I
I
pick
need
the
to be one
flavor.
of those. I need to be one of you pick the flavor. That's where you
I
exert
don't
your
like grape,
control.
so I always am like, can I get rid of this? Would you like a grape?
You give them the
bubbly one?
grape.
I don't like the grape.
What's your top?
I went to the doctor today for a checkup,
Yay.
and she was like, "You're really healthy. Da 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 da. You might have cholesterol, like one of my cholesterols." And I kind of zoned out because I was like, "Whatever, I'm gonna be fine." Was like on slightly higher side, and I was like, I didn't even fight. I was like, I do eat a lot of butter and cheese. The good news is because of my low blood pressure, I can eat salt. She was like, that's really good for whatever your blood type, your body type. Again, I was so tired because I had to fast going into it. Anyways, my top of the cob is a piece of toast soaked in butter. And I might do this for like a slow Sunday, but like a really good piece of like a farmhouse loaf, which I think is very funny. Like a great piece of bread. And yeah, you spread the butter on, but I don't know why we aren't melting butter and pouring it in so it's drenched. And then you eat it drenched. It feels very French. I just love a piece of toast.
They do that at like trash bag places, like at IHOP and stuff. I feel like you get so much butter and you're like, yes, this is how it should be. But a nice restaurant is never going to give you as much butter as you would like or as much as you deserve.
You know who does like a really great whipped butter that people are obsessed with is Renee Erickson at her restaurant Lioness. They have like this whipped butter. People love it. Shout out to Renee. We love her. But like soaking with butter.
We need to.
That's what I like.
We need to wrap it up, but I do have an important question for you, which is where do you fall on apple butter? People are like, oh, it's apple butter. Yeah, it's
gonna be
fine.
great.
It's not that
It's gonna be-
exciting.
It's going to be fucking great. Is it made of butter and then they add apples?
I don't know how they make it. It's at apple
Okay.
festivals and whatnot.
Apple butter jeans and the boots with the fur. Concentrated spread made from apples cooked down. Oh, buttery texture. Sure. If I get to a place where I can't have what I want, that's fine. I love apples. I love apples. All right.
Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.